Welcome everybody to another edition of Blacks in Motion right here at BVN at 8. And as always, it's your sports guy Clif here giving you the hottest news in sports out there right now. And it's a great time for sports because you got the World Series going on. Even though I'm not a huge baseball fan, you got the NFL season underway in the thick of things, all that good slobber knocking and head cracking. No concussions though. You know how we want to keep all the players safe. But also this week, the NBA started its season. And on opening night, they had a couple of games, but I want to talk about one matchup in particular. And that is with the video game team, the Golden State Warriors and the San Antonio Spurs. That's right, my Spurs. And I'll start off with them. You know, we heard a little rumblings that, hey, LaMarcus Aldridge, his second season, wasn't starting off too good. Like he wanted to be the number one guy, and there was some clashing with him and Kawhi Leonard. But you couldn't tell on the court because he came through in this first game and scored 26 points and 14 rebounds. Now that his pinky's better, this guy's a walking double-double. Look for his second year in San Antonio to be just as good as his first. And moving on to the guy that we know is the best player on the San Antonio Spurs, and that's Kawhi Leonard. He cashed in with a career-high 35 points and 5 rebounds. This guy was all over the place, and yes, he made his presence felt on the defensive end of the ball as well. You know, he's two-time consecutive Defensive Player of the Year, possibly could get his third, and he'd be the first person to ever do that. But one other guy I want to talk about on the Spurs, and that's Jonathan Simmons. This guy came off the bench and lit it up with 20 points and 4 rebounds. And that's where I want to stay right there and talk about the Spurs. The bench play. Those guys have achieved another level of depth. They have guys all up and down the bench. Patty Mills, David Lee, Slow-Mo, you name it, we have it. And we looked good playing basketball, a very well-rounded team. That second unit is what kept the lead and extended the lead in the victory against the Warriors. And also the Spurs played with a great sense of efficiency. Many people didn't make a lot of shots, but they made their shots, shooting at a high clip. The team shot at 48% for the game and 50% from three. That's like mid-season form. Yeah, it's a little early. It's the first game, but the Spurs look good. Now to move on to the other team, the video game team, like I said earlier, the Golden State Warriors. Everybody was talking about the Golden State Warriors this summer because they landed who? Durantula, Kevin Durant, KD. Yes, a former MVP joining the ranks of already a team that has a lot of superstars. Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, and Draymond Green. Those guys were already stacked, and they added Kevin Durant. And a lot of people were wondering, hey, that big trio that they already had over there at Golden State, would they be affected by KD? Would they be able to handle another offensive juggernaut coming to the team? If you ask me, yes, they can. A lot of people might say, man, there's only one basketball. But I guarantee you, under Steve Kerr, they're going to find their offensive rhythm. It didn't show too much last night. The chemistry was off just a little bit, part in part because the Spurs were able to play one-on-one defense. We have that type of personnel to disrupt that offense. But for teams that have to double team those guys individually, it's going to be a problem. Something else that I think that the Golden State Warriors struggled with was team defense. Yeah, you get rid of Harrison Barnes and you get Kevin Durant. Now, the thing would be that, hey, Kevin Durant, you don't have to carry the team offensively. Give us some plays on defense. And he had a few blocks. But if you ask me, they sacrificed a lot of defense when they got Kevin Durant, which moves to another aspect of their team. Rebounding. Remember, they also lost Andrew Bogut, and they got Zaza Pachulia. Now, if you ask me, yeah, he's a big man. All he's supposed to do is rebound, but the Spurs out-rebounded the Golden State Warriors in this game. So you have to beg the question, did they lose too much by giving up Harrison Barnes and Andrew Bogut? Either way, it was a very early game. First game of the season. We don't know what the rest of the season is going to look like. We know both teams are going to be good. There's no reason to panic, but it did allow the Golden State Warriors to get smarter, and hopefully the Spurs too. And they look to go on to dominate the Western Conference. Hey, you never know. First game of the season, and then maybe the last game of the Western Conference Finals. We'll see these teams go head-to-head to see who goes to the finals, most likely against the Cleveland Cavaliers and LeBron James. But I guess we'll have to wait and see. But hey, Maybe you think the Spurs, it was just a flash in the pan. Maybe you think the Golden State Warriors do stink this season. Either way, I want to hear from you. Always hit me up, Clif at blackvideonews.com. And also, go ahead and subscribe to this video and like this video before you leave. And as always, stay logged on and love us right here at Blacks in Motion.